Today's video is sponsored by Manscaped.com. On the note, hi ugly. It's me, Buslet Johansson, and welcome back to Alright. And we've got some interesting things to cover today, including the most recent arrest of Jaymes, aka Tyra Sanchez, some Twitter drama between Cynthia Fontaine and Charli XCX. Did not have that one on my bingo card. And finally, we'll end with a quick breakdown of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 8, Episode 10, the one about the letter L, where our queens were challenged to give makeovers to our lesbian sisters. And first up, the arrest. So, as reported by Entertainment Weekly in an article by Joey Nolfi, Jaymes Ross, aka formerly known as, but currently resurrecting for a limited period of time, Tyra Sanchez, has been arrested again, but this time for protesting their first arrest, which occurred several months ago. And concerning that first arrest, EW originally reported Tyra, whose real name is Jaymes William Ross, was arrested on May 17th at 5:26 p.m. after reporting officer Jay responded to a minor vehicle crash. The partially redacted report does not provide further details on the interaction, but indicated that the 35-year-old was charged with resisting an officer without violence and simple assault on an officer and was later taken to the Bradford County Jail. And concerning the more recent arrest, the article from EW reads, Ross was arrested Thursday after publicly protesting his initial May 17 arrest for allegedly resisting arrest after a car accident. And in the article is a quote from the chief of police who told EW, "We've arrested Jaymes William Ross. He came out and was in his little outfit and he had the police sign, hanging it up and showing and dancing. He was in a little G-string with a black bra on. It was still within the freedom of speech category. The problem we had was it was in an intersection within a construction zone, but it wasn't really causing a traffic problem, but it became an issue when Ross went home and returned after strapping on a big old item under his tights. He comes back on the road and starts shaking it, and that's when people started stopping and cussing at him and causing a traffic problem. It was bad from there on," says Johnson, adding that Ross will be booked on one charge for breach of peace. And concerning what Jaymes, aka Tyra, has said about the situation, EW did also get an email from them where they report they wrote, "A drag queen is wrongfully arrested. The drag queen protests. The charges are dropped. Drag queen is cleared, and now a week later, new charges of exposure of organs because the drag queen protested in drag get real." And so what the outcome of all of this will be, there's no way to know yet, but I'll keep a close eye on the situation, and in the meantime, of course, wish Jaymes, aka Tyra, only the best. And next we've got another, what I can only describe as a bizarre situation. The fight between Cynthia Fontaine and Charli XCX. But you know what's too hot? This heat. Which is why I'm extra thankful for today's video sponsor, Manscaped, for keeping my sack smooth and sweat-free with the Ultra Smooth Package and their Boxers 2.0. So the Ultra Smooth Package is a luxurious shaving care kit that works in 3 simple steps. First, clean and prep the downstairs area with the Crop Exfoliator, a gentle liquid scrub that can help to preemptively prevent ingrown hairs while shaving. Then lather up with the Crop Gel, a clear shaving gel designed for a close shave. And finally get to work with the Crop Shaver. This bad boy is perfectly engineered with 3 precision blades and 2 extra wide lubricant strips. Oh, and pro tip, while you're down there, shave with the grain, rinse after each pass, and repeat until you're celebrating smooth sack summer. The Ultra Smooth Package comes with 6 replacement blades and a storage case for the Crop Shaver. And you can order your Ultra Smooth Package by clicking the link in the description of this video. And make sure you grab a pair or 2 or 3 of the Manscaped Boxers 2.0, their high-performance boxer brief designed with anti-chafing seams, cooling, moisture-wicking fabric, and a jewel pouch to cradle everything safely in place with extra perforated materials to help with breathability. Get everything you need for smooth sack summer at manscaped.com, and don't forget to use code Bussy during checkout to get an extra 20% off your order plus free international shipping. Your balls will thank you. Thanks Manscaped for sponsoring today's video. And for some quick context here, I'll be talking about an Instagram account 360_brat, which is an account I believe owned and actually operated by Charli herself, where she shares insider or behind the scenes information with fans who have been able to gain access to this account. Anyways, it was on this account where she was doing a Q&A on her Instagram story, and a fan asked Charli for her thoughts on Feed the Beast, the new album by Kim Petras. And to this question, Charli responded, "I haven't listened yet, but I did read the Pitchfork review, which I felt was interesting." The Pitchfork review, by the way, gave the album a 4.3 and ended with these thoughts. "Online and in interviews, she's funny and smart, clearly a master of the subtle irony that Stan Twitter adores, but there is such a thing, perhaps, as wanting mainstream fame too much. so much that you'll let all your edge get sanded away. So not exactly a glowing review, but back to what Charli said. I love Kim and I think she's exceptionally talented. I've seen her work, I've seen her write, and I've seen her natural instinct. It's very good. I think she's in an interesting spot as an artist right now. The way I see it is that she's in a phase where commercial success is more important than wholeheartedly following her artistic instinct, perhaps. And I've been in that phase before, so that's why I think I can recognize when someone else is there too. I think it's a crucial phase that some of us need to experience to further access our own core and learn the lesson that our own voices are the most powerful and convicted in the room, despite all the additional voices that have opinions that are always circling around. And these thoughts from Charli about Kim and her new album Feed the Beast and its pitchfork review were shared on Twitter, where Cynthia Fontaine chimed into the conversation, writing, "So haven't heard it yet, and she decided to make a comment based on someone's review. Cringe." And then about 10 days later, on July 7th, Charli responded to Cynthia writing, "No, I chose to comment not on another person's review, but on my experience of Kim as an artist whom I've collaborated with many times. Artists are so much more than singular albums. Great artists generate culture and conversation that transcends music. I'm giving my thoughts on Kim's current position as an artist in 2023 through the lens of my own personal experiences. Don't try your with me." And it was to this that Cynthia responded, "Don't you dare trying to teach me how artistry works. I'm aware how it works. But the music business and culture and interaction derives not just only on comments between colleagues, but also your own criteria, point of view, and personal expertise. Do better, ignorant." And Kim Chi there responded to Cynthia writing, "The music business has entered the chat," with a gif of her on her roller skates from season 9. But Cynthia wasn't done there. She later added a couple more thoughts to this Twitter thread, writing, "Do not judge the book by its cover. Leave you with that. Bye." Boom. And then after apparently dealing with backlash from Charli's fans, Cynthia later wrote on Twitter in a separated thread, "Not the Carlita XXXXX minus brain and talent trying to read me for some POV she shared. It was wrong. This person needs to touch some grass. Also, I learned this from my grandmother. Don't judge a book by its cover. Do better. Hashtag trash. Hashtag she thinks is mothering. Hashtag mother who." And I don't know, y'all. I need some water. I'm certainly not here to pick sides in this Twitter beef, but the whole thing does feel like a misunderstanding of a misunderstanding. Because from the jump, the tweet that Cynthia originally responded to concerning this whole situation was sort of misrepresenting what was actually happening in the screenshots they shared, where they wrote, "Charli XCX shares her thoughts on Feed the Beast." And as we read, and as we saw Charli point out, Charli was not sharing her thoughts on Feed the Beast. She was sharing her thoughts on Kim as an artist and where she is in the industry, given Charli's perspective and having been there herself in the past. But anyways, this certainly was a strange situation, and that's how it all fell out. And hopefully behind the scenes, these two can make up, or not. They probably don't care to, based on this interaction. I don't know. That's not my problem, and that's neither here nor there. But really, that was the last thing I expected to see go down on Twitter this past week. Like, wild. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the most recent episode of All Stars 8. Our queens were challenged to give makeovers to some of the L's, the L words, the lesbians of the LGBTQIA2+, etc., etc. And first up, we've got Jessica Wilde, who's paired with Lisa, a self-admitted Shire cat lady. With the obvious challenge being that Jessica will need to find the wild side to make her part of the Wilde family. And these two have a really great relatable moment in the workroom together where they're discussing being bullied in high school for just being themselves, which transitions to Lisa talking about rejecting dresses ever since she was a child and her mom would force her into them. But she's happy to say that she's now here on Drag Race on her own accord and ready to explore that feminine side a little bit and see what the drag fantasy has to offer. And this look, this makeover pair, is giving me a little Gaga, a little McQueen, a little Gaga in McQueen. The style is very much leaning into that Jessica Wilde glam rock fantasy that she likes to tap into. I think the only critique you could give this makeover is the one the judges gave them about Kitty's shoes being not necessarily matching with the outfit or Jessica as a sister pair. But I will also point out these makeover partners are people who don't necessarily wear heels all the time, and I'm guessing this was more of a comfort-based choice for Kitty rather than a stylistic one on Jessica's behalf. Anyway, this look is hot. Next we've got Jimbo, who's partnered up with lesbian Amanda Faye. In the workroom, we learn Amanda has struggled a lot with the societal beauty standard and has spent a lot of time trying to keep people's attention off of her, but is here at Drag Race to find out if she can figure out how to embrace the idea of drawing attention to herself. And the ironic thing about being partnered with Jimbo is if there's one queen on this stage who is gonna help you draw some attention to yourself, it's Jimbo. But it's not necessarily in the way that Amanda is interested in exploring. Because we see in the workroom Jimbo showing Amanda some of the, what I think were supposed to be Mickey Mouse callback outfits to her Canada's Drag Race Season 1 entrance looks. And she is not having it at all, but Jimbo can sense how her partner is feeling, and instead of going for the crazy Mickey Mouse clown look, she opts for a more sensible little black dress for both her and Sissy Delicious. I think Jimbo's makeup and hair transferred beautifully to her face, and these two absolutely look like drag sisters. And yes, the obvious critique here is that these little black dresses don't say much about Jimbo's greater drag aesthetic and the clownery that she participates in, but I thought it was a really beautiful moment that Jimbo was able to acknowledge how Sissy was feeling when she was putting her into drag and opted for the look that ultimately made Sissy feel more comfortable and empowered while on stage. So did I want more? Yes, of course, but at least Sissy felt sassy, and that's hot. Oh, and that's comedy. And next up, Condoleezza Muse, who ends up with Ange as her makeover partner, who describes herself as butch and proud. However, because of her butch and proud identity, she finds herself nervous to embrace her feminine side here on Drag Race. It's something she says she spent her whole life pushing away, but hopes to find a new comfort with it and ultimately herself as a person. And it was really great to watch these two connect in the workroom because Kandy tells us that her mother is actually lesbian and butch and proud, just like Ange. So needless to say, these two got along perfectly, and their runway looks were phenomenal. They come out in these 60s color blocked pastel pinks, white, and greens, and both Kandy and her partner look so beautiful here. And I love how easy it is to see that Kandy had a clear vision of what she wanted to do on the runway with her makeover partner and 100% executed on that vision. I love the updos with the bows and the hair, and everything she did was absolutely flawless on this runway. It absolutely Plus, she was able to instill that Kandy Muse confidence in her partner, which is, I think, a really big struggle for makeover partners in general. And that, I think, has a lot less to do with each queen in the competition's ability to instill confidence in somebody and more to do with that person's actual personal comfortability of being on stage in front of cameras with big crazy lights in front of a judging panel, knowing that what they're doing is going to be seen by an international audience. Like, most of the makeover partners they pull for these things are not even local community theater stage performers, okay? Much less people ready for a full choreographed lip sync in front of all the things I just said, right? Like, this is a very foreign experience. So I think it was really great to just see these three different makeover partners have fun in the episode and clearly enjoy the drag experience. But I don't think it's totally fair to judge the queen's performance in the episode based on like the lip sync that their partners gave, because again, that is just a totally different thing, which is why I also didn't include a discussion of their lip sync performances in my ratings today. But our win does go to Kandy Muse, rightly so, purely I think based on the makeover that she gave. It was the cleanest, most polished look, and I mean, girl, you can't knock it. Which brings us to the Kandy versus Priyanka lip sync, and I did react to this lip sync over on my Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen. That's my members only website where my patron family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my YouTube videos and access to exclusive videos like those reactions, and you can join by clicking the link in the description of my video. See you there. But before we see this lip sync, we do hear Rue announce that if Kandy loses the lip sync and the choice to send somebody home falls on the two queens who were in the bottom this week, and there is a tie, that the responsibility for sending somebody home will fall back on the winner of this week, which is a lot of words to say. Kandy's going to have the decision of elimination tonight no matter what, because obviously Jimbo and Jessica won't be voting for themselves, right? Right. So this lip sync was really fun, I think, in a lot of different ways. Priyanka is a wild performer. Like, she will just be doing all kinds of random stuff on stage. And like, sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't, but it's always fun. And Kandy, I think, gave a really stellar lip sync to this song, which for me personally made more sense given the song. And I actually would have given the win to Kandy here. But Rue gives the win to Priyanka, which then enacts the special rules of Jimbo and Jessica didn't vote for themselves, so Kandy's gonna have to pull out the lipstick. And Kandy comes back and pulls out the lipstick and reveals that she has not voted for Jimbo, but for Jessica. And this really did gag me a little bit for sure, because girl, we have had so much drama this season about specifically the elimination possibility of Kandy Muse sending Jimbo home if she saw Jimbo in the bottom. You know, remember all that stuff with Heidi and what Heidi said that Kandy said, that Alexis said she heard but then said she didn't hear. That was hashed out back and forth in many different ways in many different places. But all of that is to say, I thought Kandy would be sending Jimbo home because she was the bigger competition. 4 wins. Can you imagine having that opportunity and not doing it? Gaggeroni macaroni. That's the gag of the season, honey. But yeah, Kandy chooses to eliminate Jessica, and I was personally happy to see this decision, not because she was sending Jessica home. I honestly think it's a travesty that we're doing a final 2 and not a final 3, especially given how great these 3 have done throughout the entire competition. It just feels wrong to send Jessica home. But I was happy to see this happen solely because this really has felt like Jimbo's season in a lot of different ways, and all of her wins now against all of Kandy's wins, I think will make for a much more interesting finale because it really is so close and these queens have done so great, and I'm excited to see what happens. And now for my final thoughts. Honestly, the only thing I wanted more of this episode was Zooey Deschanel. Who's that girl? It's Jess. And finally, as for my hottest hots in the episode, I'm going to give my hottest makeover to Kandy and Kookie Muse. And I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hots, and this week they've chosen Kandy and Kookie. And finally, I want to say thanks so much to you for watching today's video and give an extra special shout out to today's video sponsor, Manscaped, who you can check out using the link in the description of this video. Don't forget, you can use code Bussy at checkout to save 20% on your order and get free international shipping. And I want to give an extra special shout out to Ashley Brungard, Daniel Sandez, Dorothy Hall, Felicia, Frankie, Jeffrey Steenberg, Seth, Matthew Burns, Matto, Kitty, Sailor, Sharkies, Steven Topher, Tyler Hendricks MD, Wheelie, and Will and Tana, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier over at patreon.com/BussyQueen. See you later. Love ya. Bye. Actually, yeah.